and that's why we are happy about what we're doing, also from our community. What about you?
I am very well. Had a nice productive day today as well. A lot of things, a lot of meetings done in the process too. Excited for the space. Got many more things coming up today as well. And we can welcome Jack up to the space. Hello, Jack. How are you doing, mate?
Good evening, guys. How are we?
We're good, we're good. Of course, yes, it's evening for you, isn't it? Dubai is evening time. For me, it's still nice and sunny outside and it's daytime.
7 p.m. Sun's just gone down.
That's all right. That's probably a good thing in Dubai, so you don't get burned alive.
Yeah, actually, it's really nice over here at the moment. It's like 20, 22, 23 every day. Only problem is my aircon's packed in, so I've had builders in, and the water's been off for like 3 days. So not ideal, but all good. How's Yes Man?
YesMan is working right now, but we are two of the 3 co-founders of YesCoin, and I'm handling the space for YesCoin. But we are exchangeable, and sometimes one is doing something, the other one is doing the other stuff. But it's a pleasure to meet here. You also here, and it's really a pleasure to be a guest in your huge space.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks for joining us. I thought it would be a very good opportunity to kind of present YesCoin, because we haven't really worked with you guys before, right? At this point. Society side.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we are here, that we can present all the stuff that you want to know. We are more than happy to do that. Please start with the space, and when you want, we can start providing all the info, trying to explain also what we are trying to do and what we are doing in the Ton ecosystem, because we are trying to change something after seeing what happened.
That we can start with the problems, right? Because the problems are very clear in Ton ecosystem. I believe we moved very fast. The ecosystem of projects from last year, so-called tap to earn community of projects, right, popped up and grew very fast, proving that Telegram's distribution is obviously a working situation, right? Like that's at this point, that's completely proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Projects, Web3 projects, crypto projects, mini apps inside of Telegram can get massive distribution through Telegram's unique distribution methods, right? And why is it unique? So the distribution Telegram works in a particular way. It's not a newsfeed based social media platform where people post and an algorithm curates the best posts for you to see at the particular time that you log on. It's different to that. It's a messaging based social media platform where every single message can be shared with all of your chats, all of your channels, all of your DMs, very simply in a couple of taps, right? And so what Tap to Earn plugged into is that ability of like that distribution, viral distribution through the hands of the users, right? And that gives you this a unique ability is when you add an incentive to a viral distribution through a distribution channel like Telegram, then you can really force people, millions of people, tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, as in some cases, to actually share and refer people in through links, right? So I think what was proven last year, beyond a shadow of a doubt, was that Telegram's distribution really works for projects, crypto projects and all kinds. And but then it created some problems in that, okay, Telegram's distribution actually works so well. These developers, young guys, are making a lot of money, right? And they're making so much money that it's hard for them to concentrate on moving the project forward, and it's hard for them to actually figure out like what to do with all of this money that they're making from launching the token and from some of these other mechanisms that people have used to make money in these projects, like this pet charging for stars, like charging stars for like little boosts and power ups within games and this kind of thing. It's all a very good way to make money, but is it creating a sustainable ecosystem? Is it creating a sustainable source of demand for the token? And I think this is where a lot of the projects have fallen flat, right? And then this is what the kind of problems that we're going to get into, I think, with YesMage, with your answers of how we're going to solve it. But I do want to talk a little bit about like how do we create that sustainable ecosystem? Well, it comes down to the usage of the revenue. The usage of the revenue must be to support the token demand in some kind of way. In my mind, I've kind of thought about three different ways. Revenue can be used to buy back and burn the token. Revenue could be used for further incentivization of users through a staking mechanism. Or revenue could be used to
in prices, and also we are redistributing something that is a revenue. It's not just one shot that we are providing a price one time and then we send it. That's not the case. Month by month, our goal is to redistribute millions of dollars. Month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. And on top of that, all our investors, because we are doing also 50% of the revenue that came from advertising to make our liquidity. We are trying to create the bigger project that we can, and we are sharing the revenue, we are sharing the prize pool with our community, with our investors, with our stakeholders, with all the huge YesCoin family. That's why we're trying to create something different, because we have learned from so many mistakes from a lot of huge projects. We started smaller, but we are building very, very strong. Something very, very huge, and we are happy, really excited to launch something different in the ecosystem, something that will last and will provide millions of dollars in prizes for our community in the next months, and also millions of dollars on buyback for our token holders. And for sure also for all our token holders that came from the AIRDROP side. So that's what we are doing. Please feel free to ask whatever you want.
Very interesting. So on the one hand, you're going to monetize through advertising, putting tasks in the app for projects to come and access your user base. That's a model we've seen with like NODEPAY went that route, Hamster Combat went that route. It wasn't that successful. How do you see it working for you guys, and what do you think is different there?
That's why we added something more. We can do just a part with the advertising. We know that advertising is something that can work, but should be sustainable with millions of users. So we decided to add something more. Something more is the partnership that we already told you, and we are using the paying users to monetize and to bring the revenue back to all our community. Because on one side, we are going to have 34% that will go put in the prize pool for all our community. The free wheel of luck will be always available. And on the other hand, 50% of the gross revenue will be used to do a buyback. So advertising is just a share of what we are doing. It's not the whole cake. And that's why we're trying to be different. And that's why we're working in the long term. And on top of that, we are also providing incentives on the users that bring more users. they're going to get paid. We want to redistribute all this revenue that came from this huge project. Because in this way, we can be sustainable, our community will be happy, and we are going to be happy too.
I see. So the paid wheel of luck then is kind of key in this whole picture. If you like the revenue of the paid wheel of luck is like what's going to bring the sustainability for the project, and the advertising, is once you can prove you can retain users through this paid wheel of luck, and they'd be interested in that, then the advertising may also start to kick in as well, because people see actually this is an audience that I want to advertise to, and I want to be involved in this. So the paid wheel of luck, how's that going to work? Like what is the what's the user experience there?
We have analyzed all the lotteries around the world. We have discovered also that there is a different, percentage of the population of each country that go and play this kind of gambling, And with our partner, we have analyzed all this kind of stuff, and we are trying to put the price as small as we can, so like 20 cents per play. And we are putting a lot of incentives. I mean that every users will have a chance to win. We are going to use with our partner the bigger part that we are going to, of the money that we are going to raise from the public sale to create a huge prize pool, millions of dollars that will be available in a couple of weeks as soon as we start also with this partnership and all this kind of stuff. It's finishing. And imagine that you can go and on one side you can play for free with a free wheel of luck, and it will be free forever. And this free wheel of luck, we share the same prize pool with the paid one. So also the logic is designed to have a bigger and bigger prize. Our goal is to reach like $1 million huge prize in the final end, maybe after a bull market. Meanwhile, we are going to redistribute a lot of revenue with of prizes with our community that we'll be able to play for free in the free wheel of luck doing the task, and on the other hand, is going to have the chance to play for money for just 20 cents. We have discovered that around the world, usually between 10 to 30% of a population of each country usually go and play. And this usually happens in rich countries like US, like Europe, but also in poor country, there is even a bigger share of the population that go and play. For example, in Nigeria, up to 90% of the total population come and play this kind of games. And we are setting the price so low, just 20 cents, that everyone will be able to play. And we are putting millions of dollars in prizes. And we are also providing 3 different levels of revenue, or referrals. That means that if you bring a friend, you are going to earn on one side on the money spent, on the other hand, on the money you win. And it works also on the second level and on the third level referrals with a lower percentage. We are trying to redistribute as much as we can. All the revenue that will be generated with this kind of stuff, with the free wheel of luck, and with advertising, and also with the paid one, will be shared with our community. That's why we are starting quite small, with a sustainable market cap, with a sustainable price, to grow stronger and stronger while distributing a lot of revenues with our community. That's our goal. It's not just let's go outside, launch our token, do a drag drop, and then explode, and nobody will talk about us later anymore. That's not the case. We are designed to create something that will be lasting.
How will people track that you're kind of following through on these promises here? Because they do sound good. You've got revenue from the paid wheel of luck. You've got the prizes coming to free users, and then you've also got advertising revenue in there, all of which is going to go to supporting token liquidity on the one side, and then token demand on the other side, right? But is there some way that you're going to display this publicly, visually? Like, have you guys thought about that side of things?
Sure. Imagine that we are on the Web3 ecosystem, so the buyback will be public. Everyone will be able to see how many dollars will be put in the liquidity pool for the buyback, for also the deepening of the liquidity pool, so the couple, and everyone will go and see. Everyone is going to have also his own display, his own dashboard, where he can track how many friends he brought and how much he's earning from his friends. But what we are going to do is to provide as much transparency as we can. As soon as we go outside with our actor token, everyone will be able to track all the stuff and all the money that will be generated. And you know that for $1 spent inside the paid wheel of luck, 50% will be used to do a buyback and burn. 34% will be used for the prize pool. 6% will be used to the different levels of referrals, so also for the community. And the last 10% will be used to cover the expenses for everything. But everything will be public, everything will be on the Web3 side, so it will be totally traceable on the blockchain of TON. And all this stuff will be done on a decentralized exchange. So that means that it's not on a centralized exchange where community can't go and see. Do you remember what did also PancakeSwap in the last bull run? They used the revenue they had to do a buyback. Our goal is to be deflationary in the long term, but also to be totally transparent, providing all the stuff that our community is going to see. But our bigger commitment will be really soon available, because you are going to see that we are going to put almost all the money that we can raise, except the money we need to do the liquidity pool and also other activities in the prize pool. So that means that we are raising money to create more revenue for our own community and for our community. And everything is transparent, so everyone can go and double check this multi-sig and everything.
Gotcha.
Please.
Yeah, Dennis, I see you got your hand up there.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to ask a little bit more about demographics. So you mentioned previously you guys took a look and analyzed, demographics about lottery in different countries as well. How does that compare to the demographics of your community? And how does lottery spins such as this, how much in demand are they within your specific demographics of community members? Because I know for a lot of the community members for a lot of TON projects as well may not be as risk prone to participate in lotteries. So that's my main question. And if, let's say, your demographics currently doesn't fall into it, what would be your market strategy to onboard such demographic to participate in the Wheel of Fortune? I think Wheel of Fortune, sorry?
Yeah, Wheel of Luck, but it's fun. Oh, thank you very much for the... please finish.
Oh, no, I was going to say, yeah, that's the one. Got it wrong.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Our demo is made mostly for around 40% from guys from poor country. The bigger one is Nigeria, and then we have around 30% from middle country, from economic point of view, and 30% from rich country. Even if it's not so easy to think, in the poor country there is a bigger propension to gambling. While in Europe and from Europe, there is only around 10 to 30% of the total population that go and gamble at least once per year. And it reaches up to 50% according to how big is the prize that you can go and win. In Nigeria, for example, I studied my demographic, usually it's between 70 to 90% of the total users. But we are thinking also about that. So on one side, we are going to double check and we're going to recalibrate everything using revenue to redistribute with our users. On the other hand, that's why we are providing the free wheel of luck forever. Everyone is going to have his own chance to become rich for free every day. And we are going to monetize this side with advertising. So where we can monetize with gambling, with our partner for sure, Realm, we are going to use this kind of stuff to monetize. Already start with $13.5 million users. And on the other hand, where we can monetize with this kind of logic, we can use the revenue that came from advertising. We are providing, and that's our commitment, the chance for everyone to win prizes every day for free. Because the prize will be the same one, will be shared between the paid and the free wheel of luck. That's our logic. I think that we can start with a quite huge base of user base. Anyway, we are going, in our logic, we have this kind of stuff in mind, this thing in mind. We are going to release the paid wheel of luck from our partner actually before our last LTG, around 1 month before. Why? Because in this month, we are going to use the revenue that should be used to do the buyback to make a bigger liquidity pool and to pay for more marketing. We have a huge campaign for our actual PGA to bring more users. So we are not spending the money we raise, but we are creating revenue, the money we raise, and we are using this revenue to create a big liquidity pool and also a bigger marketing campaign for our actual PGA and to achieve a bigger and broader audience for the free wheel of luck, so for the advertising and also for the paid one. We are doing our best. We have to double check for sure with the market. If a bull market will hit, we hope so. We are crossing our fingers in next months. It will be easier because think about that. When a bull market is over, the propensity to risk becomes bigger and bigger. And if we manage to go outside right now, create a huge prize pool, millions of dollars, and reach like tens of millions of dollars in the prize pool after the end of the bull market, we are going to generate a lot of revenues from gamblers, also in the beer market, because with just 20 cents, everyone will have his own chance to win a multi-million-dollar prize. So that means that we are creating something that right now can go and become bigger and bigger in the bull market, but that will generate a lot of revenue also in the beer market. That's why we want to last. That's why our commitment is to provide as much revenue as we can to our community. Our community is our family. We own everything to our community. That's why we are trying to redistribute as much as we can to our community.
How have you split the tokenomics there between like yourselves, team, advisors, investors, that kind of side of things, and the community?
For sure. I start with the community. The community in 2 different voices. The very first one will be 35% of airdrop, a total airdrop, only through our mini app. Okay? The second one will be linked to the liquidity and also exchange campaign, because we are going to do exchange campaign providing more bonuses, and it's another 15%. Okay? On top of that, we have 15% as you told before, we need to bring as many players as we can. That's why we need marketing. So in 2 years, we are going to cover with 50 our own public sale, providing bonuses for everyone. That means that if you bring in investors, you are going to get 10% of the money invested from these investors. Why is going to get 10% bonus in token? That's why we have 10% plus 1 for the public. We have 4% for the private investors. And then we have 10% of the ecosystem fund, because you know that right now we are creating something, but we don't actually know what is going to happen in the next years and the next couple of years. So this ecosystem fund is vested 20 months, and we are going to use this money to make our project bigger and bigger. And our last is our shares team that is at 10%. We have been working 1 year without getting money. Then we are going to have another 6 months of locking, and then 18 months vesting. You know, that's our commitment. So we'll be committed for another 2 years after the TG. And we have been working for 1 year without getting, we're reinvesting all the money. Paying for, developers, paying for marketing, paying for everyone except us, because we believe that this project, YESCOIN, can be a game changer in the ecosystem. Basically, that's our tokenomics. Please feel free to ask whatever you want.
Well, it's certainly a different approach. Like, we haven't seen this before. Where revenue redistribution back to users is such a big focus, like particularly from a project that's like not launched this token yet, right? Like, a lot of them have then promised after launching the token to do buybacks and things like that, but then it's like by then the community's already kind of disenfranchised, right? So at this point, like this, what you're talking about here, and this whole model is like one of the only examples in TON ecosystem that is actually planning to do and planning publicly, and you're committing to all of these promises you've made here on this call, right? So it's certainly interesting. It also very much plays into this new narrative on TON, which is kind of emerging from the community at the moment, and I've touched on it a bit over the last few weeks. But basically, the funded prize pools and redistributing the prize pools to winning users, and the game developer, right? Like this is the play to win model. Like, instead of people just coming and having like tap to earn, you just turn up, you do something simple, and you get some value later down the line. Actually, now the difference is you actually need to turn up, like form some skill, and take some chance, and then you may be rewarded. Right, so it makes it more transparent and clear what people need to do in order to get rewards. And in tap to earn, we had the situation where like more users did not necessarily equal more trading volume, which didn't necessarily mean more token demand, right? Whereas in a play to win model, more users, because your users themselves are feeding in revenue into the project. So more users and then the project's then using that revenue to redistribute back to users through token demand. So more users necessarily does equal more trading volume, more token demand. And so it really is like it's a different model. And it's very, very interesting. I wonder if you've considered about the TON Society SPT, because at TON Society we have the SPT platform. The SPTs are on-chain achievement badges. So these on-chain achievement badges have been rewarded to our users, our TON Society's community over the last year and a half, we've had about 4.5 million collectors. And right now we have about 2 million monthly collectors. And we've rewarded over, I think, 16 million SPTs. We've moved away from the SPT language, but basically an SPT, for those of you who aren't aware on the call, but that's a soul-bound token. So it's a NFT that stays in your wallet. It can't be transferred. And these are like markers of reputation. We've given all the SPTs awarded points. So you get a very low level amount of points for attending online events like this one, or offline events as well. And then you get a kind of mid-level amount of points for performing some on-chain actions. Maybe you've been involved in the Open League, which was like our incentive program last year, or Memelandia, or some of the DeFi quests that have been put up on the Ton Society platform. And then the biggest amount of points, those go to the SPTs that are awarded for contributions to the ecosystem. So being a builder, participating in one of our hackathons, arranging Ton Society events, completing or being part of winning a developer contest. So these kinds of things are what's awarded the most amount of points. And so essentially what we have is like the people with the most points have like performed a lot of on-chain actions, or they have built in the ecosystem and been part of our programs at Ton Society. So what we're doing this year is like we're kind of looking for projects that would be willing to allocate some of their token to our SPT holders. And in doing so, what this means is like the SPT holders that are like our OGs that have been part of our ecosystem for a long time, collecting these things, start to get rewarded from new projects coming in to the ecosystem. And when a new project launches, the early OGs get rewarded. And I think this really works. And it's kind of simple. This is like, it's almost like an extrapolation of your model. Like, how do we make, so you're like looking at how do you make your project more sustainable? At Ton Society, we're looking at a higher level. How do we make Ton ecosystem more sustainable? And I think the rewards can really work to do that, right? If new projects that are going to be sustainable are airdropping to our community, then our community is then incentivized. They have a vested interest in helping these new projects to grow. And then over time, as more and more projects do that, right, it becomes like we've already got a big network of users. Well, now we've got the power users, which you can single out with the airdrop. And then we've got these new projects that want to airdrop to the power users. And then those power users are becoming power users of that new project and then supporting them and helping them to grow. And, as more of the developers through these hackathons become successful, there's not just users that are going to be receiving this airdrop. It's also other projects that have received rewards in our hackathons and things like that are going to have major stakes in the project themselves. And so then it's like new projects reward early projects. And we have this nice cycle of growth where every single new launch on Ton that goes through this method supports one of the old launches and rewards people through this cycle. So I wondered if you thought about that, considered it, and what do you think about that model? And maybe it's something you'd want to be part of.
In the Ton Society is like a huge family, and SPT holders are helping each other. Your network is your net worth. That's why we are here, and that's why we are considering an allocation for SPT holders for sure. Please give us 1 week after this public sale, because we have a lot of work to do, but we are more than happy to become a part of this huge family, to bring our value to bring our user base, our family, to this huge community, to grow together, to grow stronger together. Because, we are launching on TON, and you are the heart of TON. And that's why we are here. We have something quite close with this kind of logic, because we are using our partners to bring more prizes for our community. I mean, in our Wheel of Luck, the free and also the paid one, we are going to use and to provide these prizes also the token from our partners. If a partner join us and provide some token allocation, we are going to put the token as a prize. You are using this kind of logic to benefit all your community and also your project. And I think that is really brilliant. We love this kind of logic. So for us, it's just the beginning. This space is just the beginning of a huge and long-term relationship and partnership. That's what we are looking for. That's what we are committed to do. Please allow me to do just one thing that is outside this logic, because I have to provide the code for the daily code for the prize for our community today. And the daily code is 100x. 100x. So 100x. This is the code for today. Just this. And basically, I told you, we would like to join your huge family. We are already considering it. Please allow us to finishing all the stuff this week, because we have a lot of work to do, and for sure we'll find a way to work together in the coming future, because it's just the beginning for us. It's just the beginning.
That's fantastic. Well, breaking news on this space, ladies and gentlemen. YesCoin are considering an airdrop to TON Society SPT holders. So if you're an SPT holder, just think about that for a minute. That's pretty cool. Actually, we've had some private commitments. I can say for this SPT holder airdrop thing. This is a new thing, and it's something that we're rolling out because we want to work with projects that have more sustainable models, and we also want to help projects more aggressively. Right, like last year, one of the major issues, I believe, has been that we weren't working closely with the projects, like TON Society itself. The projects were launching completely independently of, last year I was at TON Foundation. They were launching completely independently of TON Foundation, right? They were launching completely independently of TON Society. Like, none of us had any idea what launch was coming out each week. It wasn't coordinated, where a lot of the community have had concerns like, it's all been like one big cabal, and there's only been we've been promoting tap to earn so significantly, and that's like all our fault because